Hello there, men, and welcome to the Masculinism Movement channel, a place for men to be men and talk about masculinity and men's issues. I'm your host, Brian Crawl, and today I'm going to be talking with you about how feminism has failed and all the ways in which it has failed, at least the ones that I could think of, as there certainly are many, and I wouldn't be surprised if I missed some, and if I did, be sure to add them in the comments below. So here is my list. First, feminism is hurting women, not helping them. Studies have shown that women are less happy since the advent of feminism, and that mental health issues such as depression and anxiety are on the rise. This is something there's an overwhelming amount of evidence for. There's been all these studies and surveys and statistics and such done so much that when I looked this up for this video thinking, I'll find a link or two to a study or two to provide, the amount of sources that there were for me to cite for you were just too numerous. So if you haven't heard about this already, just look it up. All right. Women were happier when they didn't have to fend for themselves and could stay at home and raise a nuclear family and have all of their wants and needs met, socially and otherwise. And then when it comes to gender equality, feminism hasn't created a paradigm of equality, only more sexism than ever before, as well as hatred and a gender war. There is more gender disparity than there ever has been before. Men and women, can't even get along anymore because of feminism. And when it comes to equal rights, well, feminism hasn't given us equal rights. And while people deserve equal rights and freedoms and opportunities, not all people are created equal in a physical sense or in a mental sense or in a socioeconomic sense or in any sense really, except for the fact that we are all born human, and if we're in America, we're all born Americans, and thus we all deserve equal rights, freedoms, and opportunities, right? So that doesn't mean that I can go to the Olympics and demand to be treated the same as a Olympic winner and get a gold medal just because I'm an athlete and that's important to me. I'm not built like an Olympic athlete and I don't perform like one, so I shouldn't get an Olympic participation trophy now, should I? But feminism does do things like giving out participation trophies. It does give more rights to people, not based on merit. So we're not all getting equal rights, freedoms, and opportunities. And, while you could say that that is equity, which is what is really needed, because like I said before, we are all different. Some people are weaker and some are stronger, like I just mentioned about, me being a weaker athlete than an Olympic athlete. And that doesn't mean I get a participation trophy, right? Because I don't have that merit. And some people are born rich and some people are born poor. And I could see how you could use equity in that situation so that all people in the country get a equal education. That would be great. Wouldn't it be great if a poor boy or girl in the ghetto could get the same education as a rich boy in the suburbs or in Beverly Hills or Hollywood or, one of those elite neighborhoods out in California? But, that doesn't happen, even though feminists and, all those Californian liberal extremists say that equity is so important. They're not giving it where it's really needed in society. And where is feminism focusing on making sure women are more equal and getting them equity? Well, in the best places in society. In the STEM fields and in the top universities and, in other, areas of science and such. And so there's a serious lack of fairness in this supposed equality and equity where, women are getting so much equity that what is really just happening is they are marginalizing men and taking our fucking jobs. And that's not equality. Women, they can't be more equal than men. That just doesn't make any sense now, does it? And that, of course, is what is called affirmative action. But if that fancy term hadn't been invented and you were to have to put this type of bias into a different definition, what would it be? It would be called sexism. It would be called misandry, all right? And feminism is supposed to be against sexism. That's not equality. But it has only turned women into the bigger sexists, much bigger than men ever were. And feminism doesn't even deny any of this. Modern feminism, fourth wave feminism, promotes misandry and the emasculation of men, something I've talked a lot about already. So I'll just reiterate it here. Feminist politics is about either emasculating or feminizing men or man-hating. And as I've also gone over, feminism and the gynocentric matriarchy have only enabled women to become violent domestic abusers of both men and women that they have lesbian relationships with. And female sex offenders are on the rise as well, as feminism has empowered women sexually to the degree that they are now able to be pedophiles and get away with it too. Single mothers are wreaking havoc on the economy by relying on social programs for their welfare and raising unsuccessful men with mental health problems and criminal tendencies. Feminism has created a matriarchy, but the matriarchy is not a meritocracy. So it contains the same political corruption and injustices that they themselves had complained about and rebelled against when they occurred in the patriarchy. Something I'm going to be going over more in the next video, so you can stay tuned for that. But lastly, I'd like to say feminism is anti-male, but the patriarchy was never anti-female. In fact, the patriarchy took care of women better than the matriarchy does. Women have more responsibilities now. They are living more independent lives that they aren't actually happy with and don't make them feel better because it goes against their innate social desires and instincts. So for all of these reasons, and more I'm sure, and you can add any you wish to below, feminism has obviously failed. So fuck feminism, fuck feminists, and fuck the gynocentric matriarchy. It is time to return to the patriarchy and the virtues of masculinity. Now, for more on those topics, check out the links below for videos I did on them. But otherwise, that concludes this talk. Thank you for listening. Be sure to share your own thoughts and opinions on the epic failure that feminism is by commenting below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and share these messages with everyone by sharing the video on social media and talking about these things too. And lastly, check out the links in the description below for other resources for your masculine personal development and living the life you want to as an independent man. And if you can afford to donate, please do so with the PayPal link below, because your support funds me doing this work and fighting the good fight for men like you. And you can stay tuned for the next video coming out soon, which will be on how the matriarchy is not a meritocracy. And make sure you subscribe so you'll be notified when that is. And until then, take care of yourselves, men, because no woman out there is going to.